You can use some voices and kind of dig out some of that creativity a little bit. Another way is just to sing and to read songs. And I know a lot of teachers have the projectable screens now. And there's even some teachers that pull up YouTube songs with lyrics, and they're, of course, appropriate for school. But they have the little even color that'll go across the words, and the kids will read along with that, and that's great for fluency, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. I think I was at a workshop once, this was a couple years ago, and they were talking about helping students learn to read, and they said, like, you know, okay, so they're watching TV, so turn on the closed captioning on the bottom of your TV, and they can read along with what's being said on TV, which I thought, oh, you know, that's simple enough to do, and kind of fun and cool for the kids, something different. Missy, what's going on at the secondary level as far as literacy?
Well, one of the main focuses at the both middle school and the high school is to improve the comprehension of the students. We found out that students are not, when they're reading a passage or reading a book, they're not actually reading it. So they might just go through and scan the pages, but they're not necessarily reading it for understanding. So we're trying to come up with some ideas of how to get our students to read for understanding. And one of the things that the middle school and the high school are doing would be the reading prompt. And so we give them different prompts every 3 weeks. One might be based on science, one might be based on social studies, history, English, and they have to read the prompt. Everybody in the school has to read the prompt and then answer the questions to go along with the prompt. Main idea, there's an inferencing question, conclusion type questions, and then that information is used to determine whether our students are reading or not and understanding. And next year we're going to use some prompts that are going to be similar to what students would be seeing on the iStep. So hoping that that will also help the iStep scores and comprehension. So.
Great. And you know, as we started talking about literacy at the secondary level, you know, middle school and high school, that was a real big switch for teachers. Because if you didn't teach, you know, even the English teacher said, I'm an English teacher. I didn't learn to teach reading. You know, that's an elementary thing. But the more and more we find, what are some of the things that we're doing to try and help at the middle school and high school levels for those secondary teachers to help improve students' reading scores? You know, maybe you're in science or whether you're in math. We still need to be able to, you know, show that reading is applicable across all those subjects. Right. But at the same time, we need to help, we're trying to help those teachers, give them tools to use with these students. So what are some of the things we're doing with the teachers to help them help the students?
In our recent training, professional development training, we have found out that in content areas that each content area, their text is read differently. And so teachers are starting to find out that if they have to teach every student in every class how to read their text. So if they're if they teach a social studies class, then they have to teach their students at the beginning of the year how to read a social studies text. Because it's different than reading a science text. And how to read what's around the text, how to read the glossary, how to read the captions with the pictures, when to read the different sections of the book. So teachers are finding that this is very beneficial, that they might go part of the year and if they have not taught them how to read the text, they'll go a good chunk of the year and not realize their students have been lost because they weren't really understanding what they were supposed to be getting from the text. Also, teachers are able to, now that they know their reading level, if they're teaching a 9th grade science class, but one of their students might only be reading at a 5th grade level, they are now able to, if they're teaching a concept in science from their text, which is too hard for this student, they're able to supplement it and bring in other material that would be on the same concept, but at that level. So that's been a great help to teachers. It's made teaching a lot easier.
Now Now I have with me Mrs. Angela Crook, who is the assistant principal at Columbia Elementary School and who was also, prior to this year, one of the reading coaches for the corporation. And she's going to talk to us today about iStation and what that's done at Columbia Elementary School. Can you tell me about iStation and what it's done for CES?
Sure. iStation has been a really great tool for us here at Columbia Elementary School to help our students be more successful. iStation is a computer-based tool where the students are on the computer each week during the week, and depending on how they're scoring on the assessment, they may be on at different times throughout the day. What it does is it assesses students once a month, and from that assessment it tells us the 5 research-based things for reading as far as how students are doing. The first one would be phonemic awareness. Can they hear the sounds in a word? As far as phonics, can they put sounds together to make a word? Comprehension, understanding what they're reading, and then of course vocabulary and fluency. And so it breaks those down, and then depending on whether they're a tier 1, which means they meet about, or they get on the computer about 1 time to 2 times a week, or if they're a tier 2, they need a little bit more help than they would be on the computer maybe even 2 to 3 times a week. And if they're truly struggling and they're a tier 3, then they would actually be on the computer 5 times a week, and it's only about for 20 minutes, but the kids are so excited to be on it. It's very interactive. The kids truly enjoy getting on the computer to practice those skills. So it's really given us an opportunity to have students work at their specific level. You know, each month it tells us, you know, how they're doing and what they need to work on. So it's really given us a boost as far as getting them to increase their skills by working right on target of what they need.
Awesome. And so how did Columbia Elementary School get involved with iStation?
You know, it's really exciting how Columbia Elementary got involved in iStation. First of all, the Department of Education came to our school and actually did an interview because we had applied to be an opportunity school with the Department of Education. And what that did is it gave us an opportunity. They provided professional development for all of our teachers here at Columbia. They provided professional development down in Indianapolis. We spent 4 days down there working on the reading framework, and how all the research-based things around reading and how to help our students to be successful. And then not only did we spend that time with them, we kind of got into some teamwork with John Wolf and Anna Schultz down there, the literacy liaisons there, and they helped us to get involved with iStation. We were able to apply for a grant, which not only helped us to pay for the iStation, but also helped us to secure laptop computers here for our school. So not only can we use the computers within the classroom, we have about 2 to 3 of those for each classroom, but we can actually bring the laptop cart to the classroom so that students can use those as well. So it's really been a great tool for us here.
Wow, that sounds like it's really exciting. And is it something students enjoy?
Oh, wow. They love to be on the computer. And what it is it's very interactive, very fun. The students, it's not just something where they just read and it's boring. It's very, you know, people and things will pop up across the screen and they're connecting, you know, like 2 clouds together to make them meet. And so it's something that kids really enjoy being a part of.
So it's like they're learning, it's fun, and they don't realize they're actually learning and working while they're doing it because they're so engaged with what's going on the computer.
Exactly. And during guided reading time, the teachers are working with a small group of students. And so this is one of those type activities the students are working on while the teacher's working with that small group. They're able to use the computer during that 25-minute time, and they're very focused on what they're doing. You know, we know that they're getting quality instruction because whatever they struggled with when they did the assessment, that's the exact skill that they're practicing on the iStation. So we know it's true to exactly what they need, that it's quality time on the computer that they're getting, and that's really important to us here. So
are you seeing a lot of growth from this program as far as students' reading levels?
We are seeing a lot of growth, and what it does also is it gives us more information to make sure that we can see students growing and what interventions we might need to do to help support that. We are able to print out those reports monthly, even more often if we choose weekly, monthly, and really follow up and make sure that our students are growing where they need to be. And then also, of course, those can be used with other teachers within the classroom as well. We have Title I teachers that then meet with small groups of students for additional reading time, and so those teachers can take a look at some of that information as well and use that to help them in that area as well. So
And to wrap up the show today, I have Mrs. Rachel Anders, who's a Title I teacher at Franklin Elementary School. And Franklin this year has been working in conjunction with a program at Purdue University to bring reading recovery to the students at Franklin to meet the needs of those struggling readers. What is reading recovery?
Reading Recovery is a research-based and data-based program where we identify the struggling students, the bottom tier, the 20%, at Franklin Elementary, and we work with those students to improve their reading.
Very good. You know, I think today we talked a lot about data and stuff like that, and I think we've gotten really good at collecting data and actually making decisions